Ekta. Welcome back to the Mind Your Biscuits podcast. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited to chat with you. I feel like when we have these chats, like we're very intentional people,
Mm-hmm.
and we always
Try
I
to be,
whenever okay,
you know.
yeah, that's fair. No, but whenever we hang out, I feel like we're like, wait, we could have recorded this.
I know every conversation we have could be a podcast.
Yeah.
Even when we were talking
We're on the
earlier,
kitchen table. We were like eating, and we were like, wait, this relates to what we're saying today. We got to stop. We got to change the
yeah,
subject.
yeah. The same things happen with my siblings when we record.
Really?
Or like when we talk, I'm like, stop talking right now
So
because you're ruining the quality of our podcast if we already have this conversation. So it's kind of ruined our relationship in ways.
no.
I'm just kidding.
I feel like when you guys on your podcast go and just listen to it again, it's so cute. Like you guys have good fun banter, and also I feel like when I meet Aryan in person, he doesn't talk. Like
Oh,
he seems
yeah.
mute. But
Yes, he is like sometimes, and I feel this way about my boyfriend too.
Mhm.
It's like I know their real personality, or not their real personality, but the person that
the most
who they
authentic
are.
version.
Yes, when they're comfortable,
Yeah.
and like what I notice with my brother too, when we're out with other people, I'm like, this is not you. They don't know who you are. They don't get
I don't
it
get it.
because you're acting different.
Yes, that's how I feel about Bradley. I tell you all the time. I tell other people, I'm like, he's crazy, dude. Not
Yeah.
like in a bad way, but I'm like, no, his humor's crazy. Like he'll say some wild stuff
I think.
in the best way.
I wonder if everyone feels that way about their partners or the people they're close to, but also like when I think about it for me, I think Justin would think that I'm the same.
You're the same.
I'm the same.
Honestly, that relates to our discussion of like how to remain unbothered. Like your
Oh,
personality doesn't change regardless of most environments, I would say.
yeah.
At least from what I've seen.
Yeah. Even at work, I think I act like this.
Yeah.
But I will obviously I know when to be a little bit more professional,
Mhm.
or I know when I need to like, hold back a little bit if I just am meeting someone.
Sure.
I think for you too, probably.
Yeah, yeah, no, I don't like to, I guess what's the word? I have no capacity left to care. I need
Okay.
to just be who I am at work and at home. Obviously, I let myself like say more things or
Yeah.
with friends and whatnot, but I want to remain respectful of people's boundaries at work.
Yeah.
But largely, I act the same. I'll speak the same way, and that's how people know me. Because otherwise, I'm like, wait, what did I say to that person here? Did I say the same thing to this other person? I don't have time to detective my life and what I say.
No, it's too much. I wonder why the men in our lives are like that.
I feel like it's men in general, maybe.
Maybe, right? Because that's all the men I know.
You know, no other men.
No other men. I'm just kidding, but like,
I'm trying to think of other guys.
the men in my life that I know closely, right? Like my brother, Justin,
Derek?
my dad, even.
Derek's
The same. I never
okay,
met
I
him.
was like, Derek's the I said his name and then immediately was like, no, he's the same.
No,
everywhere.
he's the same.
Who was a couple of my friends from volleyball? They're not different, but they are more. They just have dark humor, so it does
Okay.
not come out when they would first meet you. I think.
But that makes sense, I think, because some people would be like, whoa,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You're a little more guarded of that.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I don't know if this will land in
Yes.
this audience.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. But sometimes I see people, and if I introduce, new friends or whatever, and I see them acting a little differently, I'm like, you're so fake. Why are you acting like that? I know you. I know who you are. You said this thing to me a
I
couple
know.
days ago.
That's what I don't want. I don't like my personal friends, my outside of work friends sometimes seeing me in a professional environment because they're literally looking at you like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's
Yeah.
not you. You're
They're
fake.
like, I don't understand why
Yeah.
you're trying to be someone you're not.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm trying to keep my paycheck
Yeah.
clearing
Trying to
every
keep a
week.
job in this economy, like we need that.
We need that.
Yeah.
100%. Okay, topic, how to remain unbothered. I felt like you were the perfect person for this because of all the stuff we've been saying, like how we, try and show up as our most authentic selves in most situations. And like you're very consistent in your personality. How do you remain unbothered? What are your initial thoughts on how to remain
Okay.
unbothered?
Yeah, I don't know if you realized, but I was a little bit shocked when you said, like, I think you were the perfect person for this. I was like,
Really?
yeah, because I I feel like being a people pleaser is like the opposite of being unbothered. And so I would have never classified myself as like an unbothered person because I feel like I am someone who cares a lot. But I will say, in the more recent years, I'm like unbothered people pleaser.
How does that
don't
work?
understand. I think it's because if it's the people I like, then I do care. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm a people pleaser with people that I like and care about. And then if there's someone that I don't align with, I don't care. And I think the being unbothered part here is like I am confident in myself and my personality. Like if someone has a problem with me, it's not gonna bother me because I'm like, well, I'm the best I can be.
I can't imagine someone being upset with you though.
It happens, Lucy.
What?
And I'm like that,
And you're like, I'm such a good person
and
though.
I'm like, where like is this coming from? But I think it's like because I try to be friendly to everyone and I genuinely don't have bad intentions with anyone unless I hate you, which there's very few people in the world.
Yeah.
Then if they have something against me, I feel like, oh, it's not even justified, so I don't care. You know?
Dude, I feel that way all the time. And also, that really makes sense though, like people pleasing, but that's literally the first thing I wrote down is know whose opinion matters.
Ooh.
Because that's how because you can't remain, I think, 100% unbothered to everything.
Yeah.
Then you just be like psychotic.
Yeah, in my head, I'm thinking a rebel. When you say unbothered, that's the word that came. And I've never thought of myself as a rebel. But yeah, to be completely unbothered is almost like it's not going to help you in life, I don't think, because people have to like you for you to get places.
I think being unbothered is more of just like how you approach the world.
Yeah.
Firstly.
Yeah.
A mindset a little bit.
Okay. What were you thinking of when you were thinking of how to remain unbothered? Unbothered from what?
First off, it's who do I care about, I guess, people pleasing in one sense, but also what you were saying resonated with me in that when I'm really nice to people and I get sideways energy or something like that, I default. I think a lot of people maybe they think I'm fake. They think no one can be that happy.
Yeah. Lucy, I've gotten this so many times in my life.
Really?
Yes. Okay, now I'm taking over the conversation.
please-
Let me
please
tell
do,
you really
please do.
quickly, but like I had a coworker who's now a close friend of mine. When she first met me, she said that she thought, oh, I'm gonna stay away from her because I think she's fake. Because why is she being so nice? And like, why is she being so high energy? Why is she being so nice? And then people are like, she's trying too hard. That's not her personality. I'm like, no, that is me. Like, I'm serious.
I think people are so miserable though. That's
Yeah. No, I'm like, why is everyone else so dark?
Yes. I'm like, wait, you're telling me you have no energy for life? Like you're
Yeah.
what are we doing then?
What do we do? I mean, I get people have different personalities, but I hate that that's a thing with me. And even when I play games, when I play Mafia and stuff, they're like, look at her, she cares so much. Like she's definitely Mafia. And I'm like, no, I'm just so into the game.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So sue me.
Yeah. Like with new people, and that's now something because I've had that said to me so often. That's something I think about. Like it's almost like something I'm too conscious of. I wish I wasn't. Where when I meet someone new, I feel like they probably think I'm acting a little over the top.
Yeah.
When that's just who I am.
Yeah. When I was thinking about how to remain unbothered or just the topic of being unbothered in general, I thought, if someone doesn't like me or has these opinions or whatever, oftentimes I'm like, okay, well, you eventually probably will.
Yeah.
Not to be like,
Oh.
I'm really cool.
You're like, you don't like me, that's wrong.
I'm
and
like-
you will be fixed. Yeah.
I think eventually people are going to say, oh, she's not faking it. Like she is.
Once they hang out with you long
Yeah,
enough.
I just want to. There's so much negativity in the world. Like, why can't I be more positive?
Yeah.
Then it's met with skepticism. That's fair.
Just
Maybe people were hurt in the past by other people, right? With
yeah,
similar personality. Maybe someone else was fake to them and now they're like, I hesitate to start a
yeah,
friendship with someone with this much energy. But I think for me, I say, that's a you thing to work out.
yeah,
I can still be who I am and be aligned with my values and what I want to get out of life, and then you can either hop on board or not.
yeah. I wonder if this is relatable to anyone because
Maybe not.
I've never met someone who related to this thing. I think it is actually pretty niche. People are probably like, "What are you talking about?" Like
Yes.
like who's not gonna be happy that you're outgoing and friendly with them? But it's like
No, some people really don't like it.
happens. I did not get that from you. Like I was never like, of course, from the first moment that I met you, I was like, oh, she's a very positive, energetic person. I loved it immediately because I was like, I feel
We
like I could
match
kind of
energy.
relate it. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, like we're just having fun, and like I didn't think that way of you, but people are different.
I think that also is like life is super for me unserious in
Mm,
most things. The one of the last episodes I recorded with James was what they don't tell you about adulting. And in that I said everyone's winging it.
yeah,
And so for me to know that everything things are made up, we should just be unserious about life because
yeah,
otherwise you're gonna be so hard on yourself.
yeah. I feel like I'm bad at that though,
Really? At what?
at not taking life seriously.
You seem super not unserious. You seem ambitious. You seem like you want to get the most out of life,
Yeah.
but not at the expense of, I guess, others or
I think I generally have a positive outlook on life.
Mhm.
Even if I am taking my life seriously, I have a pretty positive outlook. I don't know, probably from where I was raised, probably the content I consumed as a kid. I watched so much Disney Channel, dude.
Yeah.
Life was like butterflies, and I'm
Dude.
still living that life.
I loved Disney Channel and Nickelodeon growing
Love
up.
it.
That was like the dream.
Yeah, I mean, it's all I watch. I guess my parents were like, you know how these days kids will be watching like crazy stuff, stuff that they should not be watching. I think somehow I was not watching that crazy stuff, and now here's my mentality. It worked. You know, at least I'm positive. Like, whatever, you know?
I guess to get real deep, what is the purpose of life, right?
Oh.
So then you think,
I didn't prepare for that.
No!
I'm just kidding.
and so, but then it's like, it's not
Yeah.
to cater to everyone.
Okay.
It is not to cater to everyone. Maybe I don't know what the purpose of life is, but I feel I know that it's not catering to everyone else's needs.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like that's not what I was put on this earth to do. What I was probably put on this earth to do was to amplify others. And how I do that is, how I show up for myself. And I feel like remaining unbothered and maintaining like my more unserious demeanor allows me to build those relationships, at least at the beginning. And then, further on, I can, I can ask people what they want out of life and how do I fit into that equation and all this stuff. But I think initially I'm like, why do we have to have expectations on things? Or like, why just going with an open mind? I feel like it's part of being unbothered is saying, okay, who knows where this is going to go? But why can't we start off with positive intent? So it's about emotional regulation for me, I think. For example, I think two people can look at something and have very different reactions. If I dropped like a glass and it broke, my initial thought is, oh, I need to clean it up because glass is sharp and I just need to get it out. I think someone else could drop it and be like, I'm so stupid. Why did I drop that? I do this all the time. Now I have to pay for the, and it's a negative cycle.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like when I remain unbothered, I don't know if this is healthy or not, but I remove emotion from the equation a lot of times to get things done because I just need to get the thing done.
Yeah.
The glass has no emotion attached to it.
Yeah.
You attach the emotion. It's more about emotional regulation at large. That's why I remain unbothered, right? Recently, like Max had an accident in the house and Bradley gets real upset when that happens, but I'm just like, okay, do this, get this, clean this, and I'm very like task oriented to get it done. And then later I'll be like, oh man, that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Don't lie. But I'll delay those feelings until I'm like, okay, I'm ready to process that.
Yeah. That sounds healthy to me. No,
When I
think
said
it
delay,
is.
I was like, maybe that's not healthy.
No. That is like, let's get it done, and then you can sit and you're still processing the emotion.
Yeah. I guess it depends on how long I delay it too, because now I'm wondering, if there's other situations, I'm thinking friendships, interpersonal interactions, at work or just in personal life where I'm like, oh, I felt this way. Maybe I've felt it multiple times. Maybe someone hasn't shown up for things or, and on multiple occasions, instead of talking to that person, I'll just like delay it because I'm like, okay, well, we can just like keep hanging out or figure it out. And then later that time comes and it's like, oh, like the fifth time it happens, I like explode. I'm like upset. I'm like, what are you doing? I
Yeah.
haven't done that in a while though, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah. I mean, in that case, I would say not healthy.
I know.
I guess it depends on the situation. It all comes down to like understanding yourself. Yeah, regulating your emotions, like you said. I think just naturally, I'm not as emotional of a person as I am logical. So that really helps me.
Okay.
Like,
I like the word logical.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
yeah. I think you could change this, couldn't you? Like, if you're a very emotional person, could you change your mindset to be more logical just by like forcing yourself to think about, okay, what is the actual situation at hand? Like we're saying with people, think about it logically. Like, why are they upset? And then what can you do, or if you need to do anything, or just like let them out of your life to help your brain and like be unbothered.
Yeah.
I think it's really about taking the emotions out of a lot of things.
Yeah. It sounds harsh, but it's real.
Take out the emotions. Yeah.
Get them out of there.
Get them out of there. They don't do nothing. I'm just kidding. That's actually toxic.
I was like, that's
Like, ignore your emotions.
that's worse.
Get out of therapy.
No, we love therapy.
Like, you don't need help. But just kidding. No. That's not what I'm saying at all. But yeah, try to take the emotion out of things. I think we could all do from a little bit more logical thinking and less emotional thinking. Because there are a lot of situations. Obviously, I'm not like devoid of emotion.
Yeah.
Obviously, but like there are a lot of situations where I'll get upset about something, and then when I think about it logically, I'm just like, or like I'll get upset at someone, and it's because I'm emotionally thinking about it. And that's why I always try to bring myself back. Like, let me come from a more understanding perspective of where this is coming from. And it really helps me to become more unbothered.
Yeah. I love that. It's about being intellectually honest. That's what I wrote down.
Oh, yeah. That's your word, is it?
That's my
Is that not?
word that's happening right now at the
Lucy
moment.
told me like 3 weeks ago that this was her word, and it's 2 words.
Fine. It's too intellectual
I'm like,
honesty.
I'm an idiot. This is her phrase.
Yeah, my phrase for the moment is intellectual honesty because I feel like it's about confirming and accepting the reality and the facts. That doesn't mean you're stagnant in what is happening. In part, it relates to removing emotions from the equation. For example, I was not liking how I felt unhealthy. Maybe it's not about looks or anything, but I was feeling like, oh, if I needed to run right now, I could not do that or something. And that was a couple months ago, and I was like, I need to fix this. But I confirmed that. I accepted my reality of, oh, I feel my body is not at a healthy place.
Yeah.
So that's the baseline. And then what do we do from there? We take steps. And maybe there's some part of that. It's like, okay, maybe the emotional part is therapy, but there's actual action steps every day that you can take. Maybe just walking 5 minutes or talking on the phone with someone that you know is really good at working out, or they're a healthy person. And you say, hey, can you give me some quick tips or something like that?
Yeah.
And so that's how you take action later on. But back to the point is like you just need to confirm what the reality is. Like, you don't be bothered by it when you say, okay, this is just the fact of the situation.
Yeah.
We can't change it. And the moment we can change it going forward.
Yeah.
And when you said like logical and practical, that reminds me of why I don't really drink alcohol like ever, is because I can always talk myself out of it. So my thought process is I really only like sugary drinks, but I know sugar is not great for me. And based on my 23andMe, which they just filed for bankruptcy, which is crazy.
Really?
Crazy, yeah.
Why did they file for so no one's doing it anymore?
They're going to sell my data to someone. I have no idea. But
Oh my God.
But I got my report, my health report from 23andMe said I had a 70% increased likelihood for developing type 2 diabetes. And I was like,
So great.
I was like, that's not great news. Thanks, 23andMe.
And that's why they're bankrupt now.
And that's why because they give
Bad news. People,
Bad news.
people didn't want to hear this.
I don't want to hear it. So, but I heard that, and then and
Like I sued them.
and and
I sued them. I'm the reason.
I'm part of the class action lawsuit against 23andMe. Yes. No, I'm not.
Oh my gosh.
But I got that, and so that was more information and like facts in my brain. And so then, okay, so if I only like sugary drinks, but sugar's not really great for me, I can't really have sugary drinks. I don't like hard alcohol in general, so that's out of the picture. What's left for me was seltzer. And I was like, okay, seltzer is basically fizzy water with calories. So why don't I just drink water? I talk myself down the ledge every time.
Oh my gosh. I think we are so similar. Like
Really?
it is scary.
Really?
Yes,
We're
because
both brown.
yeah, and that is our main similarity.
Yeah.
And that's where the similarities are. But anyway, on to the things that don't matter. Our personalities are kind of similar too. Where, or like maybe the way our brain works is similar. Where I logically think about all of these things. Like if it doesn't make sense to me, I'm like, why do it? Like, and same, like alcohol, it's nasty. Like I think the taste is disgusting. So that's first. And then secondly, it's not good for me. So I'm like, why would I do that? And so honestly, when I drink, I'll just take shots.
It's not, and it's
Because it's the most efficient way. I'm sorry. My brain will always go towards efficiency, productivity, and I can't help it.
yeah. And to be clear, this is not in all aspects of our lives that we do this. I will eat a lot of maybe desserts at some other point in time, or
yeah. I will spend $12 on a latte.
yes,
But but here's the thing. I'll justify it.
even
Even if
gaslight ourselves.
straight up, but I justify everything I do is basically what I'm saying. I have to.
Yeah.
But like my $12 latte, I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna be productive after this. Like it'll be worth it, the progress that I make. Like if I'm sitting at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do stuff like that. Sometimes if I wake up in the morning, okay, so I try this thing where I was like, every Monday I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna just to like romanticize my life, make my life a little bit more exciting. I'm gonna drive to the coffee shop and get coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then my brain, some days I'd wake up and I wouldn't necessarily feel like having a coffee, or I don't know what it is. Like where I would kind of tell myself, oh, it's not necessary today. So I found it impossible to keep up with it because I was like, but like maybe another day would be more worth it. Like I'm feeling good today, so I'm not gonna do it. But it's kind of annoying because I wanted to make this a Monday morning thing, but I'm always thinking about time, money,
Inconvenience.
or like will it do what I don't know. Like
Will it make you productive? And
Yeah,
like,
will it
does
give me
or
that
does it not?
impact? And if it doesn't, then I don't do it. Which, I don't know. Maybe people are like, that doesn't sound like a problem. But for me, I think it is because it doesn't allow me to just have fun sometimes.
Yeah, I think our thought process is similar. I think our thought process is similar in that sense because I often will be like, no, if I just do this one thing, if I buy this thing off Amazon, I'll finally go to the gym, or I'll finally like crack the code of like why I don't eat vegetables or something like that. And so I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I like that you were trying to romanticize your life though. Like that's adorable.
I really tried. No, I mean, I do. I definitely try to do that now too. But yeah.
What I was thinking that popped in my mind was things are only whatever adjective you want to give them if you think they're that adjective. So for example, it's only embarrassing if you think it's embarrassing. You know what I mean? That's why we have so many of our friends. I think we all have that friend that's like super chaotic and you're like, dude, what are you doing? I have one friend of mine who he's gone like skydiving. He will go and like, I don't know.
Like thrill seeking?
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. We have a thrill-seeking friend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am not following that process. Like, I don't know if I would willingly jump out of a plane.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where my thought process stops me from having fun and jumping out of the
Yeah.
sky. But I think about him, and he's like, well, it's not scary if you think it's not scary. It's not shameful if you don't think it's shameful. And so sometimes I will, if I do find myself being in that more, I'm bothered by it, or I'm caring about maybe other people's opinions or feelings or whatnot, I will go down that route of like, okay, well, it's not it's not upsetting if I don't think it's not upsetting. Maybe it goes back to the emotional regulation of like just what emotion do you want to attach to it. It's like a mindset shift, perception change.
Your mind is such like
I'm like, what is she gonna say?
sorry. I'm like, not your specific
Okay.
mind. I'm like, your
Mind is crazy.
Okay, I need to stop. I was gonna say, your mind is so powerful and it truly shapes your entire experience of the world. And like, I think everyone has had this happen to them where like they will have said something in a friend group or something like when you're hanging out with your friends where you like afterwards are like, why'd I say that? I'm such an idiot. And it so bothers them. Like literally you're just like, why did I do that? And in that situation, I have to like practice these mind exercises or whatever, telling myself like, does it really matter? At the end of the day, no one's perfect, you know? And like you tell yourself these things and you bring out the emotions and more like logically thinking like it's okay, except that you make mistakes. And that's okay too.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, just like training your brain to just process your emotions, you know? Think through things. And that will help you figure out what the root cause is and then work on that if you need to, if not, whatever. I think that's a huge way to be unbothered. Because yeah, that's something that happens to me. Just happened to me the other day. I was like, suck. And then it's like, well, I don't want to spend the rest of my day stressed about this thing I can't change. Like it doesn't make sense logically, right?
You cannot go back in time.
Yeah.
So why should I ruminate on this if I have X amount of hours left in the day
Yes.
to be my better self?
Yeah. I think that's actually the worst part about being someone that that's so bothered about things is you are sucking the energy from your life. Everyone else is living their life. They're chilling. Nothing's happening to them. But you are wasting your energy, your precious life, your precious energy, thinking about things that you can't change or that you don't need to change or even want to change. So it's like you're just hurting yourself.
It's like a form of self-sabotage sometimes.
Self-sabotage for sure. For sure.
100%. And also what you touched on a little bit too is, you know, it happened at one point in the day. People are not thinking about us as much as we think they are.
And that's the number one thing. Yeah.
People don't care.
Because they're thinking about themselves.
Yes.
I came out of that conversation thinking about what I did. Do I really think they came out thinking about like, this is how Ekta was. She said these things were. No. They're thinking about how they were in that situation. Everyone's a little bit selfish thinking about themselves. So
you're only ruminating on maybe what you did, and then it's like, why ruminate too much on it?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, and then I'll say like volleyball. This is something I noticed. Was we would have games, right? And then I could come out of the game just being like, I sucked, like feeling so down, you know, and just like, oh, I had such a bad game. And then Justin would be like, what? We had a great game, you know? And because he's thinking from his perspective, he did well. And I like realized every single person, even if we won the game, I think individually, if they didn't do well, they're down on themselves.
Sure.
So they're thinking about them.
Yeah, and what they could have done differently
Yes.
or better or changed in
Yeah.
some aspect. And I think that reflection is good. And then you at some point, it's like, okay, it's tipped into the area of not helpful. It's
Yeah.
helpful to a point, and then it's not.
Then you stop.
And then you stop.
Because you realize no one else cares. Only you care. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, it's okay to care, like you said. You reflect on it for a bit, but realize like it does not need any more of your attention because you think you made this huge impact. Like, oh my God, I messed up that shot. Like everybody hates me now. No. They're thinking about themselves and how they
No.
Yes. Like that's literally
One of my high school teachers, who shall remain nameless because I don't remember his name.
Oh. Okay.
Shall remain anonymous. He once was talking to the class. He had a historically really difficult class. It was very hard to pass and then
Always
get
that
like
teacher.
an A. Yeah, and he was strict about it. And he said, you know, guys, you're taking these last exams. Some of y'all are not gonna like the score you get back. And I just gotta tell you, you're gonna look back in 10 years and say, do I care that I got a B minus in
Wow.
AP biology? I think that really stuck with me because I applied that to basically everything. I said, in 5, 10, however long time, am I gonna care that this happened?
Oh,
No. So why would I care about it now?
yeah, that's a big one. Yeah. Put some perspective on like this small thing is not gonna matter. So why are you dwelling on it?
I was listening to a podcast the other day. I think it was about like career trajectory and like decision making and all this stuff, but I feel like it relates. And it's like a 10-10-10 decision framework. It was from the Liz Moody podcast because I always listen to that. And it was like, if I ruminate, right, will it impact the next 10 minutes? Will it matter in the next 10 weeks? And then will it matter in the next 10 years?
Yeah.
And if you try and space it out like that, then maybe it stops the rumination process from continuing on longer than it needs to be. If you know that, right? A lot of this relates to just self-awareness and being able to know, I care somewhat a little too little about what other people think of me to
Yeah.
where I could maybe trample over their opinions and I
Yeah.
need to work on that. But other people I talk to, they ruminating on things hours for days afterward. And I was like, dude, I just don't think that much. Maybe that's my issue. And maybe I just need to think more.
Yeah.
But it's a self-awareness, knowing where you start in that process and conversation of if you're bothered by something, if you're not bothered by something, and saying, okay, what would be a better balance of this? What would make it
Yes.
more healthy and sustainable? Because you have to live in your brain every day.
Yeah.
And if you're always caring about other things happening externally that are outside of your control, it could be I imagine that's so anxiety inducing,
Yeah.
stressful.
It's like detrimental to your mental well-being and your happiness. Like, do you want to live your life unhappy? Then good, keep doing what you're doing. Okay, now I'm
Yeah,
starting.
then great
I just
job.
turned David Goggins. I'm like,
Yeah, you did.
you're acting like a fool. No. But no, seriously, you have to be a little bit harsh with yourself. Like, if you are one of those people, and like, let me tell you, if you're one of those people that are ruminating on things for days, it's okay. Because sometimes I'll talk about things a lot, and it's like, at that point, I don't even care that much. I've already let out this D. I just love talking. So
I just love
talking.
yapping.
Yeah. Realize but if it's truly bothering you for a long time, it's like, you're being annoying. Okay, because the people around you, like, they're probably like, they don't care. They don't want to hear about it. So like you need to really, really work on your own self and realize you're the only person that can help yourself, really. And you could also go to therapy. But anyway, journaling, just thinking through things in your head, strengthening your brain, and just to help you have a more positive outlook on life because it's shaping your whole experience. Like, what's the point,
Yeah.
if not?
I read a quote recently that said, I think I'm paraphrasing, but doubt can only be removed by action.
Oh,
Something
yeah.
to that effect. So, you feel all these ways. And oftentimes I think people maybe ruminate alone, but then sometimes they include others. They tell people
Yeah.
about it. At some point, I'm like, you gotta do something or shut up.
Yes.
You gotta, I don't want to hear about all the ways and all the woes of your life. I want to hear what you're doing about it.
Yeah.
And how can I support you?
Yeah.
Because I can't support you complaining all the time.
No.
I don't care.
You don't want to constantly hear complaints, and then you give them advice and they don't take it at all, and then you're hearing about the complaint again. At that point, no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't be there for you. You're draining my energy, and you don't want to be that person.
No, and at that point, ask ChatGPT.
At this point,
Outsource your
to
issues.
ChatGPT. Well, I don't know. Is that healthy? Was that healthy advice we're giving out there?
Yes, I would say, specifically, I think there's a distinction between rumination.
Yeah.
There's a difference between rumination and then reflection.
Reflection.
There's a difference between those two.
Yes. Yeah.
And I feel like, rumination, it only serves as self-sabotage. You want to feel that emotion more because I feel like maybe someone who's in that mindset will think, oh, that'll prompt me to change. If I hate myself enough in this aspect, it'll motivate me to change. I don't think that's really motivated people to change often, but versus reflection, when you reflect on things, it says, I'm going to look at this from like almost a third person point of view. like I am not myself. It's the situation and this other person, and what would happen from this vantage point, especially like you the reflection that happens, it's
Yeah.
usually more kind,
Yeah.
and can lead to positive change rather than like hate motivation, right? If you just
Mhm.
do something because you're like, I need to change this thing about me. It's so deeply flawed, and like you're not flawed. You're not perfect.
But let's talk about why that doesn't work. I think that doesn't work because, like, in a way, you might think like, oh, it should work. Is that emotion is so fleeting. You can't use it as motivation forever, can
So
you?
true. So
So,
wise.
like Buddha over here, Gandhi. Yeah,
You're like,
you should pay me to be
you're like,
on
I'm
your
gonna be the
episode.
next famous brown person.
That's famous. Ooh,
Oh,
so we're competing here as the
we
two
are,
brown
yeah, we are competing actually. This is a competition,
for
and
the
you're
next
losing.
famous brown person.
Yeah,
America's next famous brown person.
we're gonna get canceled.
We're so getting canceled.
But we are brown, so
We
like,
are
what are people gonna
like
say?
like no,
That we're not brown?
we are.
Fine, try
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Check my skin color. Check my credentials. No, I think that's a really good point. Emotion is fleeting. I was talking to Bradley. I don't think people knows about him. I'll ask him if I can share this. Maybe I'll edit in post.
Okay.
But essentially, he said he used to like hate himself in high school. And that's what he pushed himself academically. So like outside of school too, he was involved in different sports and he also worked. But he said he like hated himself and he just wanted to change. And I don't exactly know what parts that, you know, what was the main driving force of hate, but he just said, I wanted to feel different. He said in college, he just started to feel more content with life. Whatever happened, he just started feeling content. And so then he wasn't getting as much done or pursuing so many random, like different things. He started honing in on, okay, this is what I like to do, and this is where I'm going to put my energy. And so he's like, I feel lazy sometimes, but also I don't hate myself. Like, I feel content in life. And so emotion is fleeting, but also emotion it can feel toxic. It's like whiplash. If you go from like being motivated through whatever negative emotion, and then finally you feel content, it almost is like you spent so much time in that negative category that now just because you're content, it feels boring or it feels wrong because you don't know how to sit with just
Yeah.
with stillness.
Yeah. And again, like he didn't have that anger towards him forever, so now he can't use that as motivation.
No, and then he feels bad that he can't use that anymore. And I said, but that's not, you don't need to use that anymore.
Yeah, you don't need to use that anymore. Yeah. Maybe people go through those phases and then as you get older, you just start caring less, honestly. I think that is a part of growing up because I was definitely harder on myself when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I remember just needing to getting the best grades in my classroom, like needing that all of that validation, all of that. I think I still need that though, so I don't think
I feel like I think validation is a whole different
that's a whole different
beast.
yeah. Because
Which-
everyone I feel like needs some sort of validation, or else you feel a little bit crazy.
Mhm.
But you need less of it with more self-confidence, or once you realize who do you actually need the validation from?
Yeah.
You know, whose opinions matter.
It's like advice when I feel like a lot of adults do this. I consider myself a hatchling adult, like a baby adult.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people who are like in their 40s, 50s, 60s, when they give me unsolicited advice, I look at where that advice is coming from. And I'm looking at like, I don't want what you have, though. Your advice is coming from what you've got or don't have. And I maybe want the opposite. So I take people's advice unsolicited with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
I'm like, you felt the need to say it, but guess what? You don't know my life.
You don't, yeah. People don't know your life. That's what I'm saying. Only you can help yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you need to work on yourself because people just will never understand exactly what you went through to get to where you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's why like blanket advice a lot of times, even with relationships,
Mm-hmm.
where people will be like, if this is happening, then you need to do this and all this stuff. It's like you don't have the full picture.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's nice to try and get advice from people and take it in, but you can't do what they say.
Yeah.
You need to have your own processing system in
Yeah.
your brain.
I have some people that we don't give I see people giving relationship advice. I'm like, yeah, but your relationship is in the toilet. Like yours is garbage. Why would I listen so I can have a horrible relationship
No,
too? No,
no,
thank
that
you.
is so true.
No, thank you.
That's just, oh my God. Like, I think the person you need to trust most in life is yourself,
Yeah.
basically. And if you're not there, then work on it. Because I don't know if I'm fully there, you
Yeah.
know, because there are a lot of things where I'm like, why would I trust myself? I don't know anything. But I want to be able to just have confidence in my own decisions at the end of the day. And that way you don't let other people's opinions get to you as much because you're like, well, what do I think?
Right. I love working on anything self-improvement related because I can rely on myself. So
Yeah.
maybe people feel like it's a distrust with themselves. They're like, I can't trust myself to reach this goal or do this thing or hold myself accountable. And that's okay. It's baby steps. You
Yeah.
start real small, and then that's how you grow in
Develop
that
it.
self-confidence. And there's nothing better than being able to say, okay, I've taken back control and power, and I'm working on myself in whatever small way I had to start, and then maybe it grows and fluctuates and ebbs and flows from there. But it's empowering to say the external stimuli, everything that is out of my control, that's out of my control. But guess what? I can control me and all my emotions and things that go on in my brain,
Yeah.
and working on that. It
And
feels
just like
empowering.
everyone else,
Yes.
everyone else can also only control what's in their,
Yeah.
what they can control. So some people are successful and they did what they could, what they had control over. So it's just what you gotta do.
100%. That's how we remain unbothered.
That's how we remain unbothered.
It's a lot. There's a lot of
There's a
ping-ponging
lot
thoughts.
of, yeah. I mean, there's just so many things that connect
Yeah,
to
it's
it.
all connected.
Yeah.
It's all connected,
Yeah.
and I feel like hopefully one thing resonates
Yeah.
more than the other. It's about finding whatever starting place you can and then connecting the dots from there. Thank you for coming on the pod again.
Thank
We're gonna have to have another one. I'm rotating like through my friends who I ask to like come on because I feel like I find certain topics that feel relevant in the moment. I had a whole other list of topics, and then I said I don't care about that anymore. Like it's a new month. I have other things on my mind. Let's film about that. And
Yeah,
those
go
things.
with what you want to do in the moment, because
Yep.
obviously it's going to make for a better podcast.
100%.
Everyone here, where's the YouTube link?
The YouTube is at Hello Lucy V.
Okay,
Lucy V as in
Viridian, which is
that's
like,
that's a big word. What would you say?
I'm just confusing people.
I don't even know how to
V
spell
as
that.
in Vermont,
Yes, ma'am. Okay, everyone knows what Vermont is if
Yeah.
they're in the US,
if they're in the US.
I think. What about your socials? We got to plug So Far So Good.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to look this up real quick.
What?
the
Okay, So
tribe.
Far So Good .tribe
Yeah, no
on
space.
Instagram.
Yeah. The YouTube. I don't have YouTube either on my phone. Sorry.
Okay,
I'm on my
I'll put it in the show notes.
Aw, thank
to my-
you.
2 followers.
Well, it's appreciated.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And we press on.
We press on. Oh, I love that saying.
Press on.
We press on.